State Bank and Trust has been invested in Winfield and Marion County for more than a century, and today we remain deeply committed to meeting the needs of local families and businesses with excellent financial products and friendly down-home service.
But more than that, we're dedicated to supporting the growth, success, and well-being of our community as a whole. Because when it comes right down to it, there's nothing more important than community.
And just like our outstanding city officials, police, and fire departments, you can count on State Bank and Trust to help make Winfield and Marion County a great place to live for everyone who calls this area home.
Hello everyone, this is Chuck from Span Hardware in Winfield, Alabama. Good to be with you today, and I just want to let you know we've got some new things this year for the spring season. As you can see, Stihl now has the lawnmower. We're going to have a full line of the Stihl zero-turn mowers. We have a full line of the Stihl weed trimmer and chainsaws. Just about anything you need to maintain your home this spring and summer. From lawn and garden equipment to paint to hardware, anything you need. Come see us. We'll help you if we can. Thank you.
This is Eric Simmons from Furniture Depot. We have a store in Guin and Fayette. We've been serving the people of Northwest Alabama for 23 some odd years. We'd like to be your furniture store if you'd let us. And we'd like to thank you for your business this past year and invite you to come and shop with us this coming year and for the years to come. Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year.
Hello, Lee Hines here, owner-operator of Alexander's Heating and Air Conditioning. We've been family owned and operated since 1954, proudly serving Marion, Fayette, and Lamar County. We are Carrier factory authorized dealers, but service all makes and models. We specialize in residential and light commercial HVAC systems. So as we get ready to enter another hot Alabama summer, please remember Alexander's Heating and Air for all your HVAC needs.
Tom Bigby Electric Cooperative was formed for the need for electricity to the local citizens that were living in the rural areas of Marion, Lamar, and portions of Fayette counties. This line consisted of 12 miles and 22 consumers on the road from Guin to Sulligent. Between then and now, there has been a lot of hard work and dedication from a great number of people to make this cooperative what it is today. Tom Bigby Electric Corporation would like to thank each member. You can contact us today at 205-921-6712.
Your story starts at Bevel State Community College. Whether you are just starting out or starting over, Bevel State has an opportunity that is right for you. With 5 locations serving 7 counties, you don't have to go far to start your own success story. Plus, with tuition lower than 4-year colleges, you won't need to spend more for a great education. Visit us online at bscc.edu to learn about your options for seamless academic transfer and high-demand career tech and health science offerings. Let us help you tell your story.
Enjoy our amazing on-site restaurant and bar with a lunch buffet every Sunday. Relax with a quick getaway with your family and make a splash in our outdoor pool. Book your next event with us. Call us at 205-468-4625.
At Bowen Funeral Home, we understand the importance of a personal commitment to provide quality services and products with value to meet every family's need. You'll find very caring professionals that truly desire to offer dignified service and true value that families need and desire during the loss of their loved one. With our newly renovated facilities, services, and quality merchandise, you can rest assured that we stand ready to meet the needs of your family in honoring lives lived. Bowen Funeral Home is located at 981 Alabama Highway 253, just south of Winfield High School. Call Tommy Bowen, Certified Funeral Service Practitioner, at 205-487-4327.
As you can make it. I'd like to welcome everybody to the September 5th, 2023 Winfield City Council meeting. First item on the agenda is approve the minutes from the August 15th, 2023 meeting. I need to ask for a motion and a second to approve those minutes if nobody's got a question or comment how they've been written. Report. Keith, second. All in favor? Next item on the agenda, Gina asked to be put on, for me to put on the agenda, park employees. Is Gina here? Go ahead.
First of all, thanks for letting us be here. We'd like to personally thank the Mayor and City Council for the new Kubotas ATVs that we got. We'd like to thank for the new lawnmowers that we got, the trucks, the new awnings on the building, the bathrooms inside. We'd like to thank the Mayor and City Council for the help with that.
We appreciate y'all coming out. We feel like it's our part to do. We appreciate what y'all do down there for us, taking care of the park and the equipment, and looking at it like you do. And I know y'all have a hard time getting Steve to do anything, but I appreciate what y'all do.
We appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank y'all.
thank y'all. Real good. Y'all want to step in and do that. I appreciate that. All right. Next item on the agenda is Susan Mary is going to sing a song. She's going to give us an update on the
I just got
senior
that letter
center.
in the mail today, I'm going to share that with y'all. That's why it's not in my stuff, but it's kind of, did you get that letter from Macon?
Yeah, I did. I got the reading. You want me to brag on it? Is that what you're?
No, I'm just wanting to make sure you got it.
Yeah.
I want to share it with the rest of you. You want to and I also give y'all, we're selling the Christmas decorations again this year, so I give y'all a brochure about that. When I told Mike to put me on the agenda, or everyone I spoke to, I don't remember now, my intention was to come today with recommendations for buses. I found one in Bradenton, Florida that fit the budget, everything we were looking at. Well, I emailed the lady the end of last week, just wanting to touch bases with her. Hey, it's still available. It wasn't 5 minutes, the phone rang, and it was her to come in. It's sold. I had also found one in Pelham at Transportation South, and it was honestly going to be the one I was recommending. And I guess it was Wednesday of last week, the salesman called me and told me, he said, you're fixing to talk to an honest salesman. Okay. Let me sit down on this one. He laughed. He said, you might want to. He said, but you don't want this bus. And he went into all the details about the engine. He got way more detail than Susan understood. So I just said, okay. But the kind of engine that was in it, he said, we did not want. So I'm back at square one, still hunting. I'm finding gobs of stuff out there that's the same passenger that we've got, that's handy, got the handicap lift on it, which we do not need, because we've got that on the other bus. I have found them where they've been redone, where all of the seats are facing each other and there's no seating in it. So I'm looking, I promise. And if any of y'all see anything, shoot me a message about it and I'll look at it. But I'm
Still around 25 passengers.
Yeah, because anything I look over, and I'm finding stuff, 25 passenger, this 17, 18 model, but it's $80,000, $90,000. And if I get anything over 25, 30 passengers, it's the same way. It's $80,000, $90,000. It's twice the budget y'all have allotted me. And so, you know, I am hunting. I've got a guy in Nashville looking. I've got a guy in Atlanta looking. The guy at Transportation South is looking for me. I've reached out locally for people to look, and everybody is telling me that these units are hard to come by. And I'm not arguing with them, they are.
Have you got access to the website and Montgomery surplus?
That's what me and Gina were wondering about. I do not.
Get with Sandy. And she's got access to it for you. See what, you know, Rob has bought several pieces of equipment through that program where they offer those back to cities and municipalities.
Because I was gonna ask y'all about that. What about the lot? Was something about a lot in Montgomery we could look at?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, shoot.
Okay, all right, I'll get with you tomorrow about that then. And, things are going great at the center.
But refresh my memory, council, where were we at on it? What did we agree on this? Did we have
35.
monetary?
30 to 35.
I understand that's probably hard to get that number, but that's the original number that you brought to us, wasn't it?
Right. Was it the one at Carl Cannon we didn't
What year was it?
I don't even, it's sold too. Everything we have looked at, the one in Rogersville that Gina's found and sent to me, it has sold. The one at Carl Cannon has sold.
I believe it's over 10-year-old.
Yeah, if I find anything younger than 10 years, it's, the price is astronomical.
Now, look at that website, but I'm telling you, or look at the surplus that they've got in Montgomery, and then we'll see, we'll keep looking ourselves.
Okay. All right. And I want to add to what the man said, thanks for the kitchen radio too. That island is a lifesaver every day for us. Things are still going good. We're averaging 20, 30 at the center. We're doing Tai Chi, yoga, learning to line dance.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and read this. This is from NACOG, which anybody's not familiar with what NACOG is, Northwest Alabama Council of Local Governments. They sent this letter out to me this past week. It says, Dear Mayor Price, recently completed a semi-annual assessment of the Winfield Nutrition Center. The center currently receives 30 congregate and 43 hot homebound meals daily, as well as 3 frozen meal packs weekly. Your center served 114 seniors with congregate, homebound, and frozen meals this fiscal year. The center manager, which that's going to be Susan, isn't it? That's what I was telling you. The center manager successfully uses outreach to boost participation and is very innovative in planning and coordinating recreational and educational activities for the members. Some of their favorite activities include chair yoga and Tai Chi, line dancing, Ta Cha, whatever you want to call it, classes and card games, and painting holiday ceramic pieces. The group also enjoyed an evidence-based health promotion program called Bingo Size. Earlier this year, the program offered physical therapy type exercises designed to improve strength. Man, all these words, y'all. Dexterity, balance, and range of motion for participants. I thank you for your continued support of the Winfield Nutrition Center and for sponsoring additional meals when needed. So that, that's, Susan's been a real go-getter for that program down there, and I think the council's on board to continue to support what you're doing down there, trying to, take care of our senior citizens and meals. And what is it? You got what you can get meal now, 55 and older, or what is it?
60. No. You're 60, so you almost qualify.
He's trying.
He's trying.
Well, I know he is.
You're ahead of me.
And they don't go home at lunch. They stay all day now. She's got so many activities now that they stay when everyone else goes home.
I will be leaving the middle school, going back to drive my bus, and there's nothing to be anywhere from 5 to 10 cars still sitting there, whether they're playing dominoes, look, something.
Keep up the good work. We appreciate it, and we'll keep looking for the tax on North Ford, the employee travel allowance. I asked to put that on there after the last. We've got several people, fire chiefs, and which Gina over at the park has to go for different meetings every year for the Dixie Youth and different things, and chief conferences and all kind of. Even Sandy has meetings, and Angie has meetings for the clerk. I'd like to see us to set an allowance, a travel allowance for the set it to where it's not necessary to have to keep up with tickets and turn in tickets. I think it'd be a lot simpler if we set an allowance for a breakfast meal in the morning and a lunch meal and a dinner meal in the afternoon. Set that amount, and if they don't want to eat, that's fine. That money, they can keep it in their pocket. If they don't want to stay at the place where the event's happening, if they want to put up a tent, that'd be their own business. I think it'd be a lot simpler and a lot easier to keep up that way if we take in whatever the conference, where the conference is, whatever that conference price for that room is locked at. That's what I think that we need to pay for somebody to stay at a conference. If they want to stay somewhere cheaper or more expensive, they can pay the difference. But I think that we need to pay, when we send them to these conferences and different things, pay what that price is for that room. And then for his travel expense, whatever the set rate is, I think I get behind time moves at 58 cents a mile or 60-something cents a mile now. 64. I think 64 cents a mile for travel expense. But I'd like to set those where it'd be a lot easier for in the office for us. Won't be having to worry about reimbursement or whatever, going through tickets and different things and having to worry about it. Somebody got an extra cup of coffee or got a dessert or whatever. If we set that amount for that morning and that midday and that evening meal, I think that would be a whole lot easier and a lot less complicated. Some people may want to pack their own lunch and take it. A lot of times some people don't eat lunch. But I think that I'd like to see, get the council's take and thoughts on doing that to make it more simplified.
So what does it say right now? Because I know we have it set right now.
What is the rate now, Mike?
Right now, you got a $10 for breakfast, $10 for lunch, $20 for supper, or basically $40 a day. You're capped at $40 a day.
Getting harder to eat for $10.
Maybe we should do this. Also have them submit their meal tickets. And we'll use the Blue Cross way of adjusting things. Take a yearly average and adjust it according to the yearly submitted amount, regardless of what we pay. If the yearly amount is submitted is $60 a day, and we're paying $40, then we make the adjustment. In case you wondered why Blue Cross is always overbilled, it's because they review the bills submitted once a year and adjust the amount that they pay.
As long as you're not trying to make it more complicated,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty simple. Just total it up and say we're going to do a 10% increase and do 10% over. I mean, if you're regularly being submitted $60 and you're paying $40, you need to compromise somewhere and go with it.
It's straight across the day.
Well, that's the total rate. That's what it is. That's a mile.
Down the mileage, that, we're not talking about changing the mileage, we're talking about changing the.
I was leaning more toward 15, and 30, 60 votes, what I was thinking. That's what I was going to recommend if y'all have a discussion. And I mean, later if we want to visit, but later down the road, but it's been where it's at now for
10 years.
10 years. 10 years since we've adjusted it. We can do that for another 10 years, I think. If we look at it like you said, we can always revisit it if it's not like it should be. I just think if it's a 3-day conference, that's what the city needs to pay for. It's a 3-day conference. Pay that for them to go, because I'm really pleased with them being involved and staying up to date with the training and different courses and learning, because you learn something every time you go to one of these conferences or one of these meetings or whatever. I mean, and people say, well, it's a vacation because it's down at the beach or whatever, but most people won't go if they're going to have it in Winfield or Hackleburg or Buin or Hamilton or somewhere. If they having that conference there, they're probably not going to get people to come there. I mean, the reason they have it at those places is to get people to attend, to come to them, is why they have them at these resort type places or whatever, nicer places. You know, it is a time to get away, but it is also, you know, they have it there to get you to come there, because you don't want, like I said, you don't want to go to where there's, you know, not a decent place to stay.
So are you saying just across the board and they don't have to turn receipts in?
$60, you know, if it's a 3-day meeting, that's what we pay. And then look, we pay whatever mileage rate is for use of their own vehicle, if they use their own vehicle to travel to it. You know, if they've got more people, take more room, that's on them. I mean, we're paying what the conference price, reserve price is. All those conferences usually has a room set price. They've got it locked at that hotel where those conferences are. That's what we pay. I just really need approval to set that for them for that. And we'll use the standard rate for it, whatever the mileage is.
65 and a half.
65 now.
65 and a half cents a mile. For what the extra half cents were.
About like on gas, it's $1.99.9.
Yeah. I wish we'd see a $1.99.
Most places ain't like me, you know. The bill comes to $2.69, $2 is fine with me. I ain't not drop the change. But I ain't never rounded up. That might work better if it's over a certain amount, round up. Or give me $3 if it's $2.79.
You go round down, you need to round up. If it's 51 cents, you need to go up.
Get a motion to do $60.
Motion.
Second. All in favor? I appreciate that. I think it'd work out a lot easier and be a lot less complicated. You know, because I go to, you know, several meetings a lot of times, and, you know, if I've got extra for my wife and, you know, kids to go or whatever, I want to stay at a little bit better place or whatever, where there's more amenities, I have to pay the difference. You know, it's just like if I fly somewhere, I pay for the city pays one ticket, and then I have to pay for the rest, you know, if I fly. And I think that, you know, it's always better if you take a companion with you or somebody with you. I think that's a wise move if y'all agreeing to do that. The next item on the agenda is,
Are we going to up the mileage then to 65?
whatever, we need to stay on whatever the set rate is.
That's a federal,
Yes, it changes, and that's whatever it is, what we usually do. That's why I say I don't get to pay the allowance on mileage, so I didn't really, the last time I had it was 55 or 58, and I guess now it done went up. I'm sure it changes when the price of fuel goes up, it'll come back down. Right. The next item on the agenda is a business license. We've discussed something on.
Well, we had tabled it because I mentioned it last time, then we tabled it so everybody could look into it to see what we wanted to do as far as any stipulated penalties for those that were delinquent on their business license.
We've got it in the ordinance. I think what we need to do is enforce the ordinance first.
Well, our ordinance stops after a certain period, and then I think it stops after, what is it, Sandy, 30 days, and then, or is it 60?
I think it's once after pretty much May.
So after May, there's nothing additional. Like, and I think we have 3 years to collect. If you don't collect within 3 years, then you can't collect all the back time.
You can collect 5, but Most of the time, so they do 3.
Yeah. How many sections do you think? Lisa, buddy. So we're fixing to start sending out for 2024. Have we checked? Or will? Do we know if any of this figure here, these businesses still in business? They are. So, seeing that this amount here is a lot greater than what it was in 2022, is it because they were past due and then got caught up probably?
No, they're still past due right here. And I have that in there. There's 2 accounts that are past due last year.
8 accounts.
And 8 accounts total.
In 2022, we had 2 accounts that's past due. 2023 now, we've got 8 accounts. Out of how many accounts? You got a total?
Probably just for students.
1,400.
No, that's for everybody. I'm guessing probably about 50.
How many accounts?
For city, 50.
Business account, business license.
And the city?
I'm talking about delivery license and everything.
Oh, everybody. Probably about 1,500.
Yeah, I was thinking about 1,500. Because that falls in the same line. Yeah, I know the dollar amount is all with it. So what you're thinking, what you're asking for us to make sure that we do, Gina, is take, be a little bit stiffer on this collecting these delinquent licensees, because we've got 8 accounts for this year that's not paid for this year that is doing business.
And some of those totals are not that much, and those businesses are, they're still in business. And, if I were a business owner, I wouldn't appreciate it if I was paying my business license on time and other people were not, and, still doing business, which I don't know how far you can take it, but.
Well, any person violating the provision of this ordinance shall be fined in an amount of not less than $50, not more than $500 at the discretion of the court. Lien on all property, both real and personal, used in business as allowed by code section 11-51-44, 1975. So we don't really have anything set as to when we would the date. We have left up to the council at the time of being to revoke or suspend the license.
I checked with a couple of different municipalities, and they usually let it go 6 months. At 4 months, they get a visit. If the business still is not compliant, 6 months, they get sent into court to have the business closed. That was just 2 places that I called. Everybody has their own set rules that they do.
We've already got that in ordinance that we could do it by that Alabama code. 15% penalty after February 1st because the due our calendar January to December, the due by January the 1st, and 15% penalty in February, and then you're going to pay a visit in 4 months. in May, in June, in May or June, and then in 6 months you want to push like the court said. I don't see no problem with us enforcement. And go to city court one time.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't see no problem with that. And, you know, anytime you have it concerns you a lot of times, you know, if you got someone that's not, you know, which out of 1,500 accounts, you know, 8, the percentage is not that bad, but if you allow 1, and it gets to be 2, and then it gets to be 3, and then you got the question of mine, if they're not paying license, or they're paying, or they're collecting and paying the sales tax like they should, so I agree. We'll look a little bit closer around and make a point to do that. The next item on the agenda is fuel bids. I'm going to stay in here because I didn't place a bid. We got, is this the only one you got? No, both of them. All right. The first one here is AZIZ Oil Company Incorporated, Huntsville, Alabama. Everybody had this same bid sheet to fill out. Everybody, how many distributors we send it to? Three distributors. They all got the same sheet to fill out the same way. Diesel fuel, number 2 ultra low sulfur, no dyed fuel protected. The delivered cost is 9 cents per gallon above rack price. And regular gasoline, minimum 87 octane, is 9 cents per gallon above rack price. It's supposed to be required to have at least one 24-hour location. Is that correct? 24 hours, 7 days a week location at 2652 US Highway 43, Winfield. If everybody's familiar with that, this is going to be
by Dollar General.
Yeah, by Dollar General on this end of town.
Okay.
AKA Old Caps Gas Mart. 9 cents a gallon on gas and diesel on that.
And the pumps are, pumps are 24 hours.
Yeah, 24/7.
Maybe there's also a requirement to be within a mile of City Hall.
That's why you didn't send it 3s, because 3's all you got.
Within 3's all they have business license.
But you have 4 that's within a mile.
Well, that's one of the requirements. If the person gets the bid is to have a station within a mile, mainly for street department equipment to be able to access it.
The next one's Mid-State Petroleum out of Vernon, Alabama. Had the same bid sheet as everybody else did. Diesel fuel, number 2 ultra low sulfur is 14 cents a gallon above rack. Regular gasoline, 87 octane minimum, 14 cents. Locations, 24 hours, 7 days a week. So Winfield Truck Stop Token, State 129. Winfield, Texaco 391 Bankhead. Other locations, Winfield, Mini Mart, Chevron, 2011 US 43. Winfield, Chevron, 2077 Bankhead Highway. They got 4 locations. That's 24/7. 14 cents a gallon.
5 cents a gallon, big spread.
Let me, before we go any further with those, that's the only 2 bids we got was from those 2 oil companies. We have not I'm sure that they checked into with you to make sure that they have a card system for 24-hour availability, smart card, or
You're talking about 81?
well, I know the one does, but we've never bought from the other one.
Yeah, Aziz, I don't know exactly what card system.
They take regular debit cards and credit cards 24 hours a day, something like that. So I imagine that's kind of card.
I don't know if they're fuel manned or what system that they, for like commercial purposes, what system they use.
Well, we're gonna need to clarify that first before, I think that before we go to trouble to award this fuel bid.
Yeah.
And then also, is that within 1 mile of City Hall?
They have one station in town. It's not within 1 mile.
So you're telling me that bid's null to start with?
Based on the requirements of the bid.
I think you need to revise this 1 mile from City Hall.
Sir?
I said, I think this 1 mile from City Hall needs to be revised and get up into the 20th century.
Well, I had mentioned it to Brett, and I think Mike was in on that text as well. Since we've moved the police department to where we have, I mean, which y'all had it before in the past prior to me, and we hadn't had it in the last 10 years. But I think that, I mean, I would like to experiment with it maybe a little bit to possibly letting the special start with the police department, experiment a little bit with the police department because they don't have anything that couldn't be other than 2 Hummers that they very seldom use. You don't have anything that burns number 2 diesel fuel.
Just those.
I think that they can have a 1,000-gallon fuel tank up to probably 2,000-gallon fuel tank through ADM, above ground tank, and bid that fuel the day of purchase. I think it would be a whole lot simpler and a lot less headache for the guys having problems. We've had problems in the past with readers, different readers not being able to get fuel at different times and different things or whatever. You could use those same distributors got licensed inside the city and bid that fuel that day, what the fuel price, the gas price would be for that day instead of having to worry about, because the rack price, I mean, I know that if you got time, you can sit down and figure what rack price is that day of, and then the way that bid sheets set out, it's the Monday.
Depends which company has the bid.
Right, and that rack price, just for instance, today, the diesel fuel, rack price on diesel fuel changed 11 cents a gallon today. At 6 o'clock, it went up 11 cents at the rack. That don't mean it's going to at the pump, but the rack changes constantly like that every day. I think it's, and you can always tell because people call and know what fuel is going, well, how much fuel today? Because they see it and they're watching on the market. You can watch the market and you can see what the market's going to do, and that's what the rack's going to do, is what the market's doing. I think, I mean, I'd like to see the council allow them to put 1,000-gallon, I mean, experimental with it. I mean, I'm wondering what the cost is going to be to put in a pump, blah, 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 blah. It don't have to be a calibrated pump because it's not, you're not selling it. Tiffin's got one on site out there that they use, gas and diesel. They got a diesel pump and a gas pump that they fuel all those units up and stuff with. And they call to get a price, the rack price, that what the price of fuel is going to be delivered today.
Isn't that one of the reasons, John, you mentioned the 1 mile? We started adding that because of the fuel, because Rob we got in a situation where the bidder, the closest place they had was out there on the interstate, and Rob would have to load his backhoes and whatever and take them out there to fill them up, or would actually have to physically drive them out there. So we wanted to have
Closer.
for the fuel equipment. Wasn't really gas equipment. It was the petroleum equipment. It was the fuel equipment. Backhoes and tractors and stuff. So then that would solve that problem, because that was one of the reasons that 1 mile was originally put in there.
We have the current fuel bid is good in September. So we're good to the end of this month with the current fuel bid. This bid, if you do anything with it, would take effect October 1. Or that would give you time, whatever time it would take to put a 1,000-gallon tank out there. So we're covered through the end of this month.
And Todd knows, I mean, everybody knows I have to be I have to be careful, but I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I'm in a kind of a two-way position here. I don't have to bid at all. I didn't choose to bid today. And, a lot of reasons, one reason is I don't want I just soon not make that $100 is to have to worry with somebody thinking I'm making somebody buy gas from me. That's how it is. There's not a whole lot of money in it, so why you want to risk it? So it's better not to even bid. But I can donate and borrow a tank to see how that system would work, to let them try it for a month or so and get bids. He can say, I'm out of fuel, Mike, call and get bids, see what it's going to cost. I need some fuel, and you handle getting the fuel, the gas took out there.
Is there a card system that we would use?
You don't need a card system.
You just drive up and pump?
It's like it is at your house. I mean, I'd like to ask Brett if that would be more convenient for you and less trouble, or how would you, as a, being over that department, how would you like to see it?
Yeah, I spoke with the guys about it, and I'd get a camera put on the pump so that we'd know what's going and coming. But, just to make sure that we didn't have any, I'm not worried about my folks, I'm just saying somebody coming out there doing something they shouldn't be doing. But there's ways I can take care of that, or even put mine in. But I talked to the guys, and they'd much rather do that as to have to go. They've had a pretty tough time over this past few weeks with whatever they've got going on with the.
I know when I was on the fire department, it was at the street department, they had it over there, but one they had still showed you the gallons you put in. And I think they still had right down their mileage and the gallons they put in that vehicle.
I mean, it's good to keep a log like that. If he's got a camera system on, which Brett's real good for us, being able to track what's going on, through the whole town. But another reason I'm looking at it is in case it's a catastrophic issue, where we're out without power, or have storms or whatever. And that's another thing that brings up another subject that I wanted to bring up, which I keep forgetting. I'm going to get you here in just a minute. I'm going to let Mike speak here in just a minute. Is a generator at that police department. I feel like we need to have a generator set over. But that's another subject. But I'd like the council to Mike needs to verify a few things on these bids before we accept these bids, and we're good through the next month. I think we need to re-table the bids, and maybe for accepting the bid, table it till the next, which the deadlines to turn the bid in is already set. I mean, so you got 2 bids, and then we can decide next council meeting what we're going to do. Is everybody all right with that?
I think, Mayor, we ought to consider these people that's got business license to take that mile from the city hall out of there. I mean, all of them pay sales tax, and, that's not fair to every one of us.
What you're maybe saying, Larry, is not necessarily oil distributor versus a gas of station, giving them the opportunity, if it's a 24/7 other than an oil distributor. But I think all the locations is owned by oil distributors anyway. There's not any independent, are there any independent? There's not any independents left, are there? But now, like where Rob, what he's talking about, you heard him talking about what they're talking about, filling the backhoes and different things up that you, we need to revisit, we need to study on, discuss that a little further. It's like he says, taking that mile out, checking see exactly how far that is.
Could we not look at putting a pump over there for the street department?
For diesel?
Yes, diesel.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like it's, you got to always look at, I mean, safety factor or whatever. You can have an accident at a gas station as well as you can have an accident at your shop over there with fuel or gas. I mean, it's the same. It's a matter of responsibility, being responsible for what you're doing at home or at work or at the shop, wherever you're fueling. You can have just as much of a chance of an accident. I think it's a greater chance of an accident pulling in and out of gas stations as it is fueling up at your own place. But anyway, yeah, I think we need to consider that. I'd like to table these bids for the next council meeting and if the council, I mean, what are we averaging? We know what we're averaging in the police department, what we're averaging per month on fuel, on gas, gallons.
Talking about the gas in this one?
How many gallons?
Gas, they don't need these. And they've been out on the east end of town for 6 months.
You're averaging just under 4,000 in fuel per month.
Dollars.
I'm not sure on the gallon.
Roughly, probably 1,000 gallon. I'm estimating 1,000 gallon. That's close, 1,000, 1,200. I mean, if you want to, for the next 2 weeks, you can get a bid for 500 gallon. We put a 1,000 gallon tank, let them try to put a bid for 500 gallon. If you don't want to buy, if you want kind of, then you can go to the card system. It won't matter if you can use out, you can get 1,000 gallon, whatever you want to do, and then try it and see how it works, and then put them on the card system later.
Would you have a diesel tank and a gas tank? You'd have 2 different tanks that you could donate temporary. And I'll check with Z's on some questions on their bid in the meantime.
Council okay with doing that? Table this to the next meeting. James, you and Larry out.
Yeah.
What you thinking, James?
I think we always try to simplify life and we're making it a little bit more complicated for the city. We're taking on a little bit more liability. Because when you got tanks, you got liability.
We'll try it, see.
26 days ain't very long to figure it out.
I got Mr. Mike Freeman here from Fayette County. Everybody don't know him, the judge down there.
Honorable Mike.
Yep. Honorable Mike.
Car dealer to being honorable, that's large to a big jump, let me tell you. So.
And we also got Honorable James Hughes here with permission from Fayette County.
From a police officer to honorable is even a larger jump. So.
Hey, I'm just as surprised as you are.
Yeah.
Tell us what y'all got going on.
Well, Commissioner Hughes and I, first of all, I want to thank you for your service and what you do. It's very important to our citizens, and I do say our citizens because, as you are aware, there's a large portion of your city that's in Fayette County, and we don't want any of those individuals, those citizens, to think that we don't recognize that and know the importance of that. And And I see that continuing to grow, quite honestly. I think that that's an area that we're focusing on, and the priority of Fayette County is to grow our county. And this section and this part of Fayette County is one that we anticipate that growth in. But that's not really the reason we're here tonight. The reason we're here tonight is to make those citizens aware that live in our area, in the Fayette County area, that we do have a special called election that's approaching us. And that election is for House District 16 seat that was held by Representative Kyle South. Kyle resigned that seat a couple months ago to become the CEO and president of the West Alabama Chamber. It's a very sounds not like a significant job, but believe me, it is a very significant job. It's a very political job. And one that Kyle will do well in, and he can still benefit this area from that role that he's serving there. But because of that, obviously the governor had to call a special election. That special election has been set, and it will be September 26th, so we're talking about 3 weeks from tonight, or from today. And then there will be a runoff, if necessary, which probably will be the case. And that runoff will be held on October 24th. Those are the primary elections, and then the general will be January 9th. So the race is set now, and it has been said because qualifying is over with. There are 5 individuals on the Republican side. There was actually 6, but one is no longer qualified based on the party's decision. But there are 5 candidates in the race now. I'll cover those with you if you like. Well, first of all, District 16, what it covers is all of Fayette County, a portion of Tuscaloosa County, and then a portion of western Jefferson County. So it's kind of a large district. And we have one candidate out of the Jefferson County area. His name's Mike Simpson. We have one candidate out of the Tuscaloosa area, and that's Brian Brinyard. And then we have 3 out of course, Fayette. Those are Brad Cox, Floyd Rogers, and Greg Fanning. So those are the candidates that's in the race. So with 5, we do anticipate there being a runoff. But we do want you to promote that, encourage those citizens. A lot of them look to Tracy who's not there anymore, but I point to his chair. As their representative, and I see that. I mean, because obviously there's so much migration here and so much of what they do on a day-to-day basis involved here. But it's very important for them to have representation and to know their representative in that area as well. And so we do want a good turnout for this election so that we can get a very qualified candidate. So we just wanted to come tonight and express that to you guys. First, our appreciation to you, but also to make you aware of that, and you in turn, if you would share that as much as possible, so that we can have a good turnout. So I say that the people get represented. Todd?
Judge, I wanted to ask you a question. You got a portion of Tuscaloosa County and a portion of Jefferson County.
That's correct.
Of the registered voters, let's say, in that district, how many of them are Fayette County voters? Would they be the majority of the voters?
Yes, but not as much as it used to be, Todd. It's a very good question. It used to be, and that's why, for the most part, that district's been served by someone out of Fayette County. It used to also, it's been changed, it used to serve some of Lamar County, and so there's been occasion there was a Lamar County person that served in this seat. But now it's what I described, the Fayette, Tuscaloosa, and West Jefferson. But to your question, there's, in Fayette, we have 12,600 voters, okay? That section of Tuscaloosa has grown so much that now, just taking that section out, there's around 11,000 voters. So it's going to be very, very close. And now that's total voters, and I really truly think the Republican vote in Tuscaloosa is probably all 11,000 almost, that particular area. Whereas in Fayette, you would have some Democratic votes that's still staying. And then the western part of Jefferson County is probably going to be somewhere around 7,000 votes.
So you need a good turnout.
Need a good turnout from Fayette County to, you know, a lot of, you know, you would hope that if it was someone from, say, the Tuscaloosa area as well, that they would have a concern for Fayette. I think that they would, because kind of like I described with you guys and us, we're growing together, that we are. Well, the same's happening on that part of our county as well, with Northside becoming so dominant and moving towards us, that that we're kind of merging together as well. But we do like the fact that if there's someone from Fayette there, it does mean a lot to us.
Well, I would think that the concern would be more the Jefferson County.
Yeah.
There would be a lot of common interest between that person in Tuscaloosa County and Fayette County
Yes.
versus a Jefferson County.
Without a doubt, that
Yeah.
would be the case. Yes. So other questions? Anything else with Fayette County? That's about the vote, but in that election. Is there anything while we're here we'd be glad to address?
I want to compliment Shane for the job he does as a commissioner up here in this part. I mean, I've been a resident in Fayette County, northern Fayette County all my life, and I've never experienced a commissioner that works like Shane does for his district. Shane does a fine job. I'm not, just saying it because he's here, but I see him doing a lot of patchwork and doing things himself, and I don't think it's really to gain votes. I think he's concerned about welfare and as far as his district and the district chief of the commission. I think he does a fine job. Don't want to brag on him for that. Don't want to give him the big head or nothing, but
Well, you're probably doing that, but
brag on Susan and not brag on him.
yeah. No, Shane does a great job for us, and he's always aware of the fact that, hey, this is part of Fayette County. We try to participate a lot. I mean, we're here Pirate Night, and we're here, of course, Mule Day, and all the events that we can. Because again, we're in this together. We're either going to be successful together or not.
If we gain it, Fayette County gain.
We do.
That's city of Fayette. It's more. We're not that far apart. The way time is now, as fast as you can get somewhere. I mean, whatever we do here is going to help Fayette. Whatever Fayette does is going to help us.
That's exactly right. So we want to support.
That way we can get them quit going on down into Tuscaloosa County or over in Walker County or over in Mississippi. We can keep them right here in this area. But appreciate.
We totally agree. We totally agree. So
being involved and trying to stay on top of things and keeping us up to speed.
Thank you.
We'll push for people in the northern part here to place their vote on the 26th.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. And next item on the agenda is old business. What you got, James?
5 more days.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna clarify something maybe get put in the paper. That what happens on that day when they set that deadline of September 9th, I think is when there's going to either September
11th.
September 11th. I'm rushing it 2 days.
Yep.
September 11th is either completion or start date of this traffic signal light situation. At that point, if it's not happened, that's when ALDOT, West, being over this region or district, he said that they were going to get involved with it, about making something happen or do something. And I'm okay with them getting involved with it right now if they can make it happen. I don't have any problem. We had a contract, a service contract that we take responsibility and maintenance contract in those lights up. But our hands have been tied for us. We didn't have near the problem when we took and worked with Mary and getting this road up, put out for bid, and put up. It didn't take near as long as it took to get it replaced.
That's before COVID, though.
And if everything works better when you've got an engineer that draws this thing up and then says, I'm going to put it out to bid, and then it gets put out. But when it gets blown away and then you've got insurance companies and consultants and different ones involved, our hands is tied. It's like, we can't make somebody do it when there's just only so much that we can do for us getting it done. So that being said, I'm glad that the state's going to step in and see if they can't push it a little harder to make it happen. But let's hope that it happens by September 11th. I hope that it's started, or, I mean, once they started, it's gonna be completed pretty soon, because they're not gonna tie us up that long, I'm sure. But by no means, it's not on any, it's not on the, it's not Aldal's fault, it's not our fault. It's just the ones that's involved, the different things involved, COVID hit. I mean, there's just so many factors that's involved with getting parts and different things, but I believe everything's supposed to be in and started by then. James, you got anything else? Larry? No.
Well, they're gonna start on paving roads.
He told me it'd probably be toward the end of this month. It'd probably be, he said, mid to last quarter. And we still got to do some cover work, which I keep forgetting to talk to Rob about it. We still got cover work to go over here at Great Circle.
And on my Highland Road, too.
Yeah.
Two things. I've had a request for another stop sign on Eagle Street in Foothill. When you come out of Eagle Street, you're right there at the curve coming off the hill from Foothill. The couple of the people that live on Eagle Street have asked if we could put a stop sign there, just because traffic sometimes goes off that hill pretty fast.
Behind your office.
Yeah, but which,
That's that last.
Eagle
right, so Eagle Street would stop, Foothill would have to,
Yes.
because that is a kind of, it's almost a merge. It's not really a turn, it's almost a merge.
Just come around.
Yeah, they just come together and come out.
I'm
so.
not sure that they didn't used to be a stop sign there.
Okay.
Yeah,
So as you're going up Foothill, the stop sign would be to the left of the well building on that street for people coming into Foothill from.
I don't think that's anything extra. I think there used to be a stop sign there.
Pretty much.
Which you wouldn't have, you would only have to have one too, would you? Just from Foothill. If you're going on to Eagle from Foothill, you wouldn't have to stop. It's just going from Eagle to Foothill Road. You would need to stop before you enter Foothill.
Yeah, I drove it, and I figured there probably was at some point, because it's pretty kind of dangerous right there.
I think we'll just say replace it with a
And I know we've done this before. We didn't do it last year, which we ended up having some issues with budget. If it would be possible, if we could have a work session with this budget.
Do you need one?
Discuss it.
You done talk with any concerns or questions you got with Michael?
Well, we've had a very long discussion, and then we got a revision today that I haven't actually looked over. But I just think it would do us some good to have a work session on it.
What's the council's take? She's wanting to have a work session over the budget, discuss the budget. I'm very good with that. When y'all want to set a date and time, an hour before the next council, 2 hours?
I think that's hard for some people to get here.
You don't have it after council meeting.
Let's just have it all day, September 16th.
All day?
Yeah.
You off that day?
That's Saturday.
What about either next Tuesday or next Thursday?
When?
Hmm?
What day?
Next Tuesday or Thursday?
Or after the next council meeting.
Well, but we have to, isn't it supposed to go into effect the first one?
We got to vote on
No, we ain't got we pass it 6 months after.
Okay.
So
We don't buy it no way. If we don't have the money, we don't buy it.
Yeah, well, do a continuing resolution and stay until we can budget finance.
Does it every year, ain't no problem.
Yeah, just a continuing resolution.
I know we got to
Go.
Yes. Yeah.
It don't matter to me.
Later,
I'm
better
good,
for me.
I am good any day.
As long as we get out here by 8, ain't it, James?
That doesn't matter to me. I don't go to bed at midnight anyway.
I kind of rather have it after the next council meeting, so.
So just stay it over after the next council meeting? So that's the 19th?
I'm gonna be out of town part of that day. I don't know what time I'll be there.
I'm out of town every day, but I always try to get back.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be out of town. I ain't gonna be in Reagan. Yeah. I ain't talking about just 2 or 3 miles.
Council okay with that?
Fine with me.
So the 19th.
Said it after the next council meeting. We'll have a work session. Need to vote on it, Todd, or no? Just said it.
I would vote on it.
Give me a motion for
to vote on
that
it.
next council meeting afterwards, to have a work session. Got a motion by Keith, second by Gina, all in favor. What else you got?
I think that's it.
All right, on the surplus bids, what you got, Mike? We got some.
The gator that y'all approved at the last meeting, it met reserve. And so the high bidder, though, a day or two later, backed out of his bid. And so Gov Deals said you can let it go to the second highest bidder, who had also met reserve, was only $25 lower than the high bid. Second bidder had 5 days. He declined his bid. So at that point, Gov Deals says you can rebid it. We'll put it back up for auction for you. And so you're starting over. So we did that. It came off about a minute ago. The bid ended. It came in at $1,700. The reserve was set at $2,000. So it came in below reserve when we had to rebid it. So the question that you as a council have is, do you want to take that bid of $1,700?
Is it the same people that turned it down?
No, the high bidder is blocked out of Gov Deals from bidding. He's in timeout.
What about the second one?
I don't know who the second one was.
I think you need to run it in the paper first.
Okay, if we run it in the paper, basically this bid is null and void. But I run it in the paper, say for 10, we're now in the next council meeting, it would make this bid null and void. So if we did get a local bid we liked, we could put it back on Gov Deals again, but we couldn't go back to this bid.
Right. Gov Deals let you put on as much as you want to.
They will. If you run it in the paper, run it locally for the paper.
A lot of people don't, I mean, I'd like to see us maybe in the future on surplus stuff that's not only Gov Deals, but I definitely want to do it on Gov Deals, but I'd like to also run it in the paper at the same time as a cutoff date. And that way we have the bids locally and from Gov Deals.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, there may be another municipality that don't do Gov Deals or don't look at, Gov Deals. I understand Fayette County's been giving stuff away on Gov Deals, and I should have been looking at it, but I forgot they're still in it. But yeah, Gov Deals is good,
Right.
but I think we need to put it out local too.
Yeah. If you set a reserve on Gov Deals and it meets reserve, we're bound to that, even if our local bid is better. If you don't put a reserve on Gov Deals,
We have the right to refuse all bids,
then
except we put it on Gov Deals with reserve.
if you don't put a reserve, I think you're tied into the high bid. So somebody local could have a higher bid than the Gov Deals bid. We'd have to take the Gov Deals bid.
Are you sure about that?
99%. But I'll check the other one.
Make it 100.
I'll check the other one.
We could always be banned like the other guy.
He was a politician, yeah.
He said about 10.
And we're not.
How many times would we go out in the paper before the next council? 2 weeks?
how do we say this? So the next one would be 19th?
Got next week.
It would just be next week.
Just one time, that's what I was thinking, how much are we gonna pay
You
for
don't
the
do
paper?
pricing, do you?
Because we're only $300.
I'd have to check and see what the price
How
would
much
be.
is that gonna cost? You can't price it.
Yes.
Close to $150 two times, we better off taking that $1,700.
But if it's only gonna run one time, that's
Leave
it.
it up to them. You don't take the bid or put it in the budget.
So we only missed the reserve of $300.
You know, let's go back to the reserve a little bit. That's, a lot of times it's hard to set a reserve on something like that. I mean, the reserve might have been high to start with. I mean, you can't.
I think our earlier bid was like 2,200, if my memory's correct, that the high bidder declined.
But is this not the better looking of the two, or is it?
This is the one that runs.
Make a whole lot of sense.
The high bidder had a political reason that he had to decline. I'll leave it at that.
I think they're gonna get paid $1,700. I got one man said he wants to take the $1,700, and James already kind of hinted that way. What's the council's take on? What year is that unit? 10-year-old?
7, maybe. Within 4 years, it'll be an antique.
Yes.
Let's just take the money over that.
I mean, I haven't done a vote or whatever, but I guess I can tell Mike to do it. You can vote on. I need to ask the council to go ahead, whether or not to accept the 1,700, 17 what?
17 even.
$1,700 bid on the gator that we've had issues two different times with high and low bid, or high and second highest. For whatever reason couldn't take it, and we put it back on. It's under our reserve, which we set. It's $300 under our reserve, but I need to ask for a motion to accept that $1,700. James and then Larry, second, all in favor. All right.
Mayor, on that same train of thought, the street department has a truck that they would like to surplus. It's the one they're replacing with what they bought a week or two ago. I don't know the year or model number, but I wanted to see if the council wanted to approve that for surplus.
Just the one I'm thinking of. That's rear and tore out of it.
No, we sold that. Okay. This one runs. But I don't know the details on it.
Motion and second to put that truck on surplus. All in favor?
Local, got a deal?
Voted.
Okay. I'll get with you on the reserve.
What year is it? You don't know what year? Let me know what year it was.
I'll get with Rob or have him. We'll get with you.
You didn't have it. This is kind of, I feel like it's been talked about with me and Alan. Y'all familiar with Alan, the fire tax money that Alan gets? He spent that, he uses that money, which Mike can explain more probably because he's got that in the budget, what he uses that fire tax money to pay for truck payment. The last, he's been using it to buy equipment with, is what he's been using it for. You know, you hear us talking about buying equipment, buying this, but he's been using the fire tax money to buy his equipment. Alan has has talked to me about possibly hiring another full-time fireman. I need the council to consider that. I'm going to put it on the agenda to let him, if the council so minds, I'll put it on the agenda I would like to try to get that in this budgeted before we pass this budget. That's one reason why I said wait a little bit on the budget, but I'd like to council to talk with Alan, see his needs, and maybe we might try to figure that in on the budget. But what he spends out of his tax money is more than enough to have paid for an employee. So I'd like to consider that. On the, talking about the stop signs, do you have can you do the stop signs at the park?
They're cheaper just like for Redbud or.
Some prices on that. I know there's some of you can't even read it.
Yeah, they do. I think we need to do an effort to replace them all. Some of them got, I noticed right down here at Pizza Bar, I think somebody wrote a cuss word on that one coming off the top over there.
I make a motion to buy 12 a month till we get them all replaced.
I think we're just going to go ahead and start doing, they probably won't be able to get 12 up in a month. I don't know if I can. Y'all have never hit none. Y'all's one more, have you?
No.
The Bush Hog does, though, don't it? Those things have got. Have you heard the latest on the CDVG demolition project? Talked with, that would be, I think that they had a pre-bid meeting Friday, had a pre-bid meeting on that, so that's supposed to be, it wasn't a mandatory pre-bid meeting, but there were 2 people at that time, I think, that has showed an interest in that project. That has been a problem in other cities of getting bids and it being within the range of what has been allowed for those. We could be facing an issue for getting bids and then facing an issue when bids too high. Down here back on this FEMA on Midway Drive on that culvert, that bid came in extremely high again. Luke went back to FEMA trying to explain to them there's no way that we can get it done for what you're trying to give us to get it done. But as we all know, we've got to do something with that road. We've got to do something with that sinking road. I mean, there's no if, ands, or but. It's going to have to be fixed to close the road one or the other before too many more of these big rains. Because it's going to go. It's just a matter of when. So we're working trying to get more money. But if we can't, we're going to probably have to take it up there, give us and put the rest with it to get it done. I mean, he's shortened, he's done everything, tried to make it work to where we can get on with that project. So if you get Facebook comments on there about can't get the road fixed, we'll know what the problem is. We're making it live tonight, but we're still trying to get more money to help get it done. But
You ain't gonna get no help from FEMA.
we got a
They're
little,
complaining right now about going bankrupt, running out of money because of the fire in Hawaii, and now they got the hurricane.
well, I think what they're
Fixing to be out of money.
pays around $250,000. I think it's going to cost around $500,000. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, they got 2.1 billion left. And they're gonna run out of money.
I don't think that's good. Anything else? Nobody else got nothing else. I'm gonna go on to the council table. I need to ask for motion to pay the bill.
Motion.
Motion, second by Tim, all in favor. I need to ask for motion to adjourn. Tim, and then James, and then Keith, all in favor. Maybe I didn't miss one.
State Bank and Trust has been invested in Winfield and Marion County for more than a century. And today, we remain deeply committed to meeting the needs of local families and businesses with excellent financial products and friendly down-home service.
But more than that, we're dedicated to supporting the growth, success, and well-being of our community as a whole. Because when it comes right down to it, there's nothing more important than community.
And just like our outstanding city officials, police, and fire departments, You can count on State Bank and Trust to help make Winfield and Marion County a great place to live for everyone who calls this area home.
Hello everyone, this is Chuck from Span Hardware in Winfield, Alabama. Good to be with you today, and I just want to let you know we've got some new things this year for the spring season. As you can see, Stihl now has the lawnmower. We're going to have a full line of the Stihl zero-turn mowers. We have a full line of the Stihl weed trimmer and chainsaws. Just about anything you need to maintain your home this spring and summer. From lawn and garden equipment to paint to hardware, anything you need. Come see us. We'll help you if we can. Thank you.
This is Eric Simmons from Furniture Depot. We have a store in Guin and Fayette. We've been serving the people of Northwest Alabama for 23 some odd years. We'd like to be your furniture store if you'd let us. And we'd like to thank you for your business this past year and invite you to come and shop with us this coming year and for the years to come. Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year.
Hello, Lee Hines here, owner-operator of Alexander's Heating and Air Conditioning. We've been family owned and operated since 1954, proudly serving Marion, Fayette, and Lamar County. We are Carrier factory authorized dealers, but service all makes and models. We specialize in residential and light commercial HVAC systems. So as we get ready to enter another hot Alabama summer, please remember Alexander's Heating and Air for all your HVAC needs.
Tom Bigby Electric Cooperative was formed for the need for electricity to the local citizens that were living in the rural areas of Marion, Lamar, and portions of Fayette counties. This line consisted of 12 miles and 22 consumers on the road from Guin to Sulligent. Between then and now, there has been a lot of hard work and dedication from a great number of people to make this cooperative what it is today. Tom Bigby Electric Corporation would like to thank each member. You can contact us today at 205-921-6712.
Your story starts at Bevel State Community College. Whether you are just starting out or starting over, Bevel State has an opportunity that is right for you. With 5 locations serving 7 counties, you don't have to go far to start your own success story. Plus, with tuition lower than 4-year colleges, you won't need to spend more for a great education. Visit us online at bscc.edu to learn about your options for seamless academic transfer and high-demand career tech and health science offerings. Let us help you tell your story.
Enjoy our amazing on-site restaurant and bar with a lunch buffet every Sunday. Relax with a quick getaway with your family and make a splash in our outdoor pool. Book your next event with us. Call us at 205-468-4625.
At Bowen Funeral Home, we understand the importance of a personal commitment to provide quality services and products with value to meet every family's need. You'll find very caring professionals that truly desire to offer dignified service and true value that families need and desire during the loss of their loved one. With our newly renovated facilities, services, and quality merchandise, you can rest assured that we stand ready to meet the needs of your family in honoring lives lived. Bowen Funeral Home is located at 981 Alabama Highway 253, just south of Winfield High School. Call Tommy Bowen, Certified Funeral Service Practitioner, at 205-487-4327.